In a quiet day of the 3rd century AD, the Roman Empire stood at the edge of a dangerous crossroads. The world was changing rapidly, battles were erupting everywhere, and amid this chaos emerged the story of a young commander named Aurelius Valerian, a man whose name was not written widely in history books, yet his decisions and bravery reshaped an entire empire. Aurelius was born to a humble family in northern Rome. His father was a blacksmith and his mother was an herbal healer. As a child, he would sit for hours listening to stories from soldiers returning from war. He dreamed of becoming a soldier, not for glory or wealth, but to protect the weak who were always the victims of kings' conflicts. At 16, he joined the Roman army and immediately began to prove himself. He wasn't the strongest, but he was the smartest. He learned quickly and understood military strategies in a way that surprised everyone. Older soldiers said about him, "This boy sees what we cannot see." Years passed, and Aurelius became the commander of a major army responsible for protecting the eastern borders from Persian attacks. At that time, Rome suffered from internal chaos. Emperors changed rapidly, as if the throne had become a game among powerful generals. One night, an urgent message arrived at Aurelius' camp. The emperor had been captured by the Persians, and the capital was drowning in panic. It was an event Rome had never witnessed before. The emperor, the symbol of power, was now a prisoner. The generals gathered in the large tent, arguing loudly. No one knew what to do. But Aurelius stood up and said confidently, "Rome doesn't need crying. It needs a decision." He proposed a bold plan: gather the remaining forces and strike the Persian camp when they were least prepared. It was extremely risky, but everyone knew that doing nothing meant Rome would fall forever. The army marched at night. Silence covered the desert, broken only by footsteps and heavy breathing. At dawn, Aurelius launched his attack. The battle was fierce, but his strategy turned the tide. Through a clever deception, he made the Persians believe his army was much larger than it really was. He reached the prisoner's tent and found the emperor alive but exhausted. When they returned to Rome, the people welcomed them as heroes, shouting Aurelius' name in the streets. The surprise came when the emperor announced his retirement, telling the Senate, "Rome needs courage and a new vision." And the right man is Aurelius Valerian. Despite opposition from nobles, Aurelius became the new emperor. His reign was not long, but it was one of the most stable eras. He built schools, reformed the army, and supported the poor. He believed true power was not in swords, but in minds. Years later, he survived an assassination attempt by jealous generals. He stood before the people and declared, "Rome will never fall as long as you believe in it." Aurelius died young, but his influence lived on. His story was removed from many official records by nobles who disliked him, yet it survived through generations, reminding us that true heroes are not born great. They become great by their own actions.